Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, we talk about all things fandom and we talk about them in a positive way. If that's something that appeals to you, you've come to the right place and we are so happy to have you here. Now, today we're going to be talking about horror because on Tuesdays we talk about all things horror. And we've got to talk about Scream 7. There are some new rumors, some theories that have been going around that we have to address. So let's jump right into it. Okay, so we have to talk a little bit about Scream 7 because it started filming today. And with it starting to film today, I expect that pretty soon we're going to get a whole lot of information start coming out about the movie. People on set leaking little plot details, all of this stuff. Now, anything that we learn that's not a major spoiler, I will be more than happy to talk about with you guys, such as casting. If we get more cast confirmed, then we will definitely talk about it. Which brings us into our first rumor. Our first rumor is that we could still get Jasmine Savoy Brown returning in the role of Mindy. And this is why. Because apparently Asa German, Sam Rechner, and I'm sorry if I said that name wrong, and Celeste O'Connor, all brand new stars in the Scream movie franchise, have begun to follow her on social media. Now, oftentimes in Hollywood, what you will find is when a movie is being made, a lot of the actors hang out together or know they're going to hang out together. They start following each other's social media accounts. I don't know if this is studio driven or it's just part of the ongoing camaraderie of knowing that you're in the same movie together. However, it's strange that people just took notice of it now, so it seems to be a relatively new event, something that just happened. And if this is something that just happened, there is only a couple explanations. Explanation number one, of course, is that Mason Gooding is in the movie, and Mason Gooding is friends with Jasmine Savoy Brown. Therefore, they could be following her because he follows her. That is a possibility of something that could happen. However, more than likely, it means that there is a chance that she could be in the movie because she did tease that she had an event that she was going to announce, and then she announced her new blog that she's doing, and that was kind of a little bit underwhelming to Scream fans. But maybe she was told not to announce it, and she knew she could tease us by saying she was going to make an announcement and then announcing that instead. Maybe her part is a secret in the movie. It would coincide with a couple theories that have been thrown out there, such as the twins coming back to be the killers, such as Mindy and her brother coming back to actually help to solve the murders that are going on. That could also be the thing. And besides that, one of the big rumors going around is the cult of Ghostface. Now, I know, the cult of Ghostface is a rumor that's been going on for years with nothing to back it up. However, things have indeed changed because now you have Kevin Williamson back at the helm, back involved in this movie, and he wrote a lot of the treatments for a lot of those movies in the past. He is the man behind the mask, figuratively, and he knew what he wanted to do for these movies all along. And one thing he wanted to do was, in part 3, introduce the cult of Ghostface. And that was, of course, going to result in Stu Macher returning. Now, the funny thing here is that there are lines in the last Scream movie that sort of hint that Stu Macher is alive in the last few movies. And people either love this or hate this. Either you are a Stu fan and you want to see him come back, or you are not and you don't. Or you love him, but you're kind of on the fence and want to see him stay dead. Well, whatever the case may be, they are definitely hinting that something is not right. And this has been discussed numerous times by numerous channels. And the character of Mindy is most telling when it comes to this, because the character of Mindy actually has a line that says, "If you believe he is dead." We get to see Kirby say, "Look, it's the TV that killed Stu." And Mindy says, "If you believe he's dead," which has sparked a lot of people to believe that he is in fact alive because Mindy is a horror movie expert, much the same way that Randy was in the original movies, always kind of knowing what's up. She does have problems revealing who's who when it comes to the killers, and she's oftentimes wrong about this until that very last moment. But keep in mind, if you really think about it, so was Randy. Randy didn't know who the killers were right from the beginning. If he did, the movies would have been a lot shorter. He only figured out who it was at the very last moment. By then, he had already probably had his suspicions. However, he didn't know until the end. And that's kind of what people fail to realize when it comes to Mindy, is that she always got it wrong. So people do want to see her get it right. Now, with the cult of Ghostface possibly being one of the story arcs, it would make sense that she would be one of the people to come back, either as one of the members of the cult of Ghostface, or possibly to help with the theories as to how to survive this particular horror movie. So that's the rumor involving her. Now, there's also a few other things that are talked about. But we're going to talk about one, and that is the cliffhanger. There is the rumor that Scream 7 is going to end on a cliffhanger. This is not new. If you're ever wondering if you've heard this and where this comes from, it actually comes from Scream 4. In the original plot to Scream 4, it was going to see Jill get away with murders that were committed. She was going to come out the final girl and essentially get what she wanted, being a celebrity. Sydney was supposed to have amnesia or something in the next movie and not really know that her relative was this killer. That's how they were going to go with it. So, of course, every new Scream movie, you have those people that say that this is something that could happen. And could it actually happen? Yes. In this case, it probably could. It could happen because if you showcase a cult of Ghostface at the end of the movie, you could very well also do this sort of cliffhanger moment. But the way that movie was originally supposed to go was that Jill was supposed to get away with everything. And it wasn't going to be until the next movie when we saw the events unfold. Now, I personally like that idea, but I think that adding on the cult of Ghostface to that scenario would be the only way they could really do this. It's always kind of been there in the background. Remember that even as far back as Scream 2, we had Billy's mom finding someone on the internet to help her with the murders. So we know that this has been going on since that. So even though it's been played in the background, the internet has always been a big, huge part of what makes this franchise tick. It's always been a big part of what makes the killers work. So you have this possibility that you could put the cult of Ghostface in the ending of the movie, and then you would have both of these as possible plot points. They would sort of lend themselves to each other really well. And that's the good thing about it. With those two things as a plot point, it could prove to be a really, really fun movie. And that's something to think about. Because we don't know for sure if Jasmine Savoy Brown is set to return. We don't know if Kevin Williamson is going to bring in some of these ideas he had before. But what we do know is that no matter what, the movie is still slated for a release date of 2026 on February 27th. So with that as a release date, the movie has to get underway, things have to start going, and they are, because as of today, the first day of filming began. And these are some of the things that people have been throwing out. So I thought I would share them with you, get your ideas, your thoughts. How do you want this movie to go? Do any of these ideas really appeal to you? How bad do you want Jasmine Savoy Brown to come back as Mindy? And do you think that Scream 7 needs to have the cliffhanger moment that Kevin Williamson wanted in the original Scream 4? Do you think that that's something we actually need? And then also, I want to know what you think about the cult of Ghostface. Do you think this could lend itself to this series as well going forward? As always, those are kind of the things we're pondering, and I want to hear your thoughts. As always, we want to hear from you guys, so make sure you are leaving us that comment in the comment box below, letting us know what you think. Also, don't forget to share this video with all of your friends. They're going to want to be a part of this crazy conversation we're having as well. And then, make sure you hit that like button. It's free, it helps the channel, and we definitely appreciate it. Miko says we need more subscribers, and look at this face. You don't want to disappoint Miko, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell while you're down there so you don't miss a single video we do. And then friends, at the end of the day, I know it, you know it, and Miko knows it. Fandom is family.